Okay. All right. So right here. Okay, he's gonna go behind the pop-up, locate the football. Okay. How does that translate into the game? So watch the corner down at the bottom. Okay, watch the corner down at the bottom. Okay, so right here, pierce step, kick step, 2-1 to none, right there. Okay, so you see how that drill carries over. All right, it's a little bit of a blind spot. He's got to get his head around what? Quick. He's got to get his head around quick. So using that pop up, all right, it's going to give him a short little blind spot to where now he has to get his eyes back quick to the quarterback out of his break, okay, in order to locate the football. Okay. The next drill that I love to work, all right, and as far as working top of the route, okay, this is what we call a three cone drill. This is what we call a three cone drill. So right here, all right, you see the setup. Okay, so for us, like if this is the numbers, all right, this is the numbers right here. All right, you can set it up outside edge of these numbers and then put one on the top. Okay, it's a three cone drill. So all this is working. This is a way to work top of the route transition. All right, with keeping like some mileage off of their legs. Okay, so they're not running far. This is a very short area to work in, but it's working top of the route transition, and you'll see how it carries over. So right here, we're having the corner open up. He's locating this back cone. Once he gets to the back cone, all right, he's working that top of the route transition. Okay, so say this is a comeback route. All right, the ball is in here. All right, the ball's in here, and he's working a comeback. Okay, receiver runs a comeback right here. Once he gets to the top of this cone, his eyes should transition here to the low hip of the receiver. This is the low hip of the receiver. Okay, eyes should transition, then he get a ball. Then he'll get a ball. It's right there. It's just working top of the route transition. That's it. Same thing, going the other way. Okay, have him open up. So now we're saying the ball is inside here. Okay, have him open up. He'll locate that back cone. And then I should transition where? To the near hip of the receiver. Okay, then get a ball. Okay. How does that translate in a live game situation? So watching the corner down at the bottom. I understand he's off. I understand he's off. But again, we're just talking about top of the route transition. It translates to press man as well. Okay. But it's just working top of the route transition. You see how it's the same movement down bottom? It's the exact same movement. You see that right there, having to work that zone turn. Okay. It'd be the exact same thing if he was in man and this guy's running a comeback or a comeback route. It's the exact same movement. Okay. And there's a ton of different variations with this drill. So now you see him working a speed turn. So now the first one we zone turn, next one we go with a speed turn. Okay. So now he opens here and he speed turns. I should transition where? To the near hip of the receiver. Transition to the near hip of the receiver, then he get a ball. Same thing going the other way. See his eyes transition. All right. What we tell guys is out of your break, when I'm in man coverage, out of my break, my eyes need to transition to the receiver first. I have to take 2 steps to the receiver before I get my eyes back to the quarterback. Okay. So right here, watching the corner down at the bottom. Again, I understand he's off. All we're working with those drills is top of the route transition, which also translate to man coverage. But you see how the corner down bottom is working a speed turn? It's the exact same transition that we did in the three cone drill. Okay. So that's the way to work this drill with keeping some mileage off of their legs. Now, this is what? A man turn. So we saw a zone turn, we saw a speed turn, now we're working a man turn. Okay. Same thing. This guy, the receiver runs a comeback. All right. Right there. Same exact thing. Okay. Watching the corner down at the bottom. Watching the corner down at the bottom. Okay. He's playing off man, but it looked the exact same if he was impressed. This right here, top of the route. That's all it's working right there, fellas. All right. So I hope that you guys can see the drill carryover. All right, with this situation in this drill. Okay. And then last one here, just a different variation of the same drill, getting this guy in a pedal. All right. And then again, top of the route transition, eyes, again, going where? Near hip of the receiver, and then he'll get a ball at the end. Okay. So it's just a different variation of that drill. All right. Now, kind of starting to put some of this together, right? Kind of starting to put some of it together. Okay. So right now we're going to work releases. Okay. We're going to work releases. Okay. So we call this top of the route transition. We say this is a now drill. So what is a now drill? Okay, so they're gonna work their initial transition. All right. All right. So it's technique at the line of scrimmage. We're peer stepping with the right, peer step, 2, 1 to none. All right, off the release. Okay. Now they're waiting on the coach to give them a now call. Okay, after their release. So once they get a now call, both of these guys are gonna flip their hips, work back inside, and get a ball. Okay, it's all off the now call, so they're listening for the coach after the release. So they get released. We'll work our peer step, kick step, 2, 1 to none. Off the now call, they'll flip, transition. All right, and then they'll get a ball right there. Okay, same drill, same drill. Peer step, kick step, 2, 1 to none. Now, and then they flip back. Okay, so they're waiting on the now call. They'll flip, transition, all right, and then get a ball. Okay, so now you're putting some of these layers, all right, together because now you're working the initial technique at the line of scrimmage, and you're working some transition at the top of the route. Okay. So this is a drill, like I could have put a million on here, but you can get very creative with this drill. Like after the initial footwork at the line of scrimmage, you can have them do any movement that you want. You can have them break down back at a 45-degree angle. Okay. You can have them man turn at the top. Okay. So you can do different variations of this exact same drill, fellas. All right. I would encourage you guys to get creative, all right, with some of this. Okay. Last example of this drill right here. All right. Just going the other way, right? But you see it. They're getting a release. All right. Peer step, 2, 1 to none. They get the now call, transition right there. And then understand this as just a coaching point, right? Is at the top of my transition, see how they're sinking their hips, and it's clean and efficient movement. Clean and efficient movement, right? We want to be able to get in and out of our breaks as quickly as possible. Okay. Clean and efficient movement, and then work flat. Work flat. All right. You see in this picture right here, both these guys, all right, are straight down the bottom of the numbers. Okay. So we don't want rounded breaks or anything like that. Okay. Now, we talked about the technique and footwork at the line of scrimmage. All right. We talked about controlling the upfield shoulder receiver. All right. As the down continues. Now we talk about being in phase and out of phase. So this is top of the route transition. This is go balls, things to that nature. Okay. So right here. Oh, let me go back. Okay, so right here. All right, we're saying we're in phase. We're on lead position. Lead position, middle of my chest to the upfield shoulder receiver. Okay. So right here, we want to do what I call a hook, lean, and look. Hook, lean, and look. Okay. So this is the technique that we want to work when we're in lead position. Okay. So he's gonna hook this guy. Hook him, meaning I want to get body on body with this guy and work him off the red line. Okay. Does everyone know what when I say the red line? All right, the red line is 6 yards from the sideline. Okay, so here's the sideline. About 6 yards from the sideline, all right, is what we call the red line. All right. And so receivers are taught they want to stack you. All right. They want to stack you and get on the red line. And that way the ball can get thrown here and then they can work off of that red line to catch the football. Okay. As DBs, okay, if we can work the receiver off of the red line, now that ball either we turn into a receiver or he just has no more real estate to make a play. That makes sense. Okay. So when we say hook, Like I want to get elbow to elbow with the receiver, and I really want to lean. All right, that's the lean part. Hook, lean. All right, to get them off of what? Get them off the red line, and then look, go locate the football, and then we become the receiver.